Prospects for the nomination look pretty good, and that could be an understatement, particularly when you look at how the delegate count shakes out. Now, right now, he's got 65, almost 66%, twice as many as any other delegates for the other voters. Consolidation might be the only way for the establishment to go because you can see his delegates are double what he has actually gotten in the vote total. Joining me now back, Tammy Bruce, Steve Rogers, and Kelly Riddell. Kelly, let me start with you. You know, the math is pretty simple. Donald Trump wins 30% of the vote, gets 60%, well, 32 and 65. It's pretty easy to see where this sort of bifurcated or trifurcated field makes it a lot easier for him to snatch the nomination.
Well, that's certainly the case. The Cook report came out today and basically said that all he needs to get out of the 600 delegates or so that are up for grabs on Super Tuesday is 39%, and he's still well on track to get the 1,200 he needs to secure the nomination. One thing that you do have to remember on Super Tuesday is this 20% threshold mark. So that means that in states like Texas, if you don't get above 20%, then you get 0 delegates, even though they're proportionally based. So you have like a Marco Rubio there, who, according to the most recent Monmouth poll, has 21%. With Ted Cruz still in the race, with Donald Trump still in the race, if he doesn't get above 20%, he doesn't get any delegates awarded at all in that state. And that goes for about half the delegates awarded on Super Tuesday. So with this crowded field, you see how it can become after Tuesday a one or two person race.
Yeah, and Steve, I mean, everyone's saying that. You kind of, you know, you do the extrapolation math, if you will, and you say, well, you know, if Bush was out and Kasich was out in South Carolina, things would have been different. And you keep doing it, playing that game. Obviously, Trump would have gotten some of those votes. Some people argue he would have gotten all of them. But the point is that does he put it in neutral? He's your guy. Does he stay as bombastic as ever? Does he sort of go in the prevent defense and kind of coast to the victory here?
Well, I think he's going to work as hard as he has been working. And in addition to that, Charles, the Republican establishment is going to have to really get out of the denial mode and realize that it is the will of the American people. And since we're talking Republicans at this point, it is the will of the Republicans across this country to see this man president of the United States. So they need to consolidate all their power behind Donald Trump.
I guess, though, Tammy, what they're saying is that the non-Trump folks are saying he's not winning majorities, he's winning plurality.
Right.
He's winning the most. He's winning 30%, and he had a 40%er. They're saying he's not getting 52%, 62%.
Yeah.
So I know to a certain degree that's rationalization, but there's a little merit to the argument.
Well, there is. I mean, look, this is where they can see a window of opportunity, because there can be 60% of people who either don't like Mr. Trump or are still undecided. So that's why they stay in and they think this is possible. But the process with delegates itself is Byzantine for a reason. Romney was pushed through April of having to fight to get that nomination, damaging him in the process. They spent more money. The arrangement this year is, in fact, to speed up the choice. Now, maybe they're regretting it at this point of the party, but that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to get it done so that they could campaign. For Mr. Trump, his dynamic is going to have to really be a mandate, because there will be so much resistance. You want to see somebody who actually has won many delegates, who does really well on Super Tuesday, but then on the 15th, when you have winner-take-all delegates. And this is where Trump can, in fact, create his mandate and move forward.
Kelly, real quick before we go, do you see this as inevitable, or is there some sort of shot that a Rubio or Cruz could really emerge as a true, legitimate challenger?
I mean, you really have to do some, you know, arithmetic gymnastics in order for it to work out, that either Rubio or Cruz could challenge. Now, like you had in the segment before, if they come together and they unify and one drops out of the race before Super Tuesday, perhaps it can happen. But how contentious the race has been between Rubio and Cruz, you just don't see that happening.
It's hard to see it happening. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Of course, just 5 days until Super Tuesday. Now, according to a new poll,